Hello and welcome to the Sacred Rainbow Current Global Online Summit, bringing together the multifaceted custodians of our planet and humanity to reveal deep truths, wisdom, and tools to enable the guardianship of our planet for the future generations. Sacred protection, connection, and the holding of earthly and cosmic light portals is potent to humanity's highest timeline ascension. My name is Kerry Bridget McCrory, and I am your summit host and creator, airing from the Coniglen Valley in the Sperrin Mountains of Northern Ireland, Éirú. My mountain is called Spatnaduya, and my river streams from the mountain mists and crevices into the burn below. Today, it is my honour to introduce you all to Ellie Paskell, a co-worker and friend across the Irish Sea. Ellie comes from Manchester, the ancient landscape which was known as Ma Mukeum, meaning breast-shaped hill in the ancient Celtic language. Ellie is a catalyst for self-love, healing, aliveness, and joy. A certified embodiment coach, a somatic healer, a guide for those through the awakening process, and an award-winning creative, Ellie supports people across the globe to find freedom from societal constraints and live the song of their souls by following the guidance in their bodies. The first 2 decades of Ellie's life saw her walk the path of an actress, performing for millions in her work on stage and screen. At 22, Ellie's body started to shout for attention with a debilitating fatigue that wouldn't go away. In 2012, after 5 years of clinging to life as she knew it, she released her acting career and fully aligned with her soul. Since that time, Ellie has spent over 40,000 hours in mindful embodiment practice, listening to and healing her body and guiding others to do the same. Ellie now shares her work in the form of global retreats, one-to-one coaching programs and group courses, and will be there at your side when you want to release dis-ease, come home to who you really are, and to dance unfettered to the beat of your bones.
Yeah.
Yes, say hello, Ellie.
Thank you so much, Kerry, for that introduction. Yes, to dancing unfettered to the beat of our bones. And also, I loved that you introduced with the land that I am on, that life is guiding me to sink deeper and deeper here in Manchester, the north of England. So thank you for presencing that.
Okay. And I just wanted to ask, are you familiar, Ellie, with like the curve, that area of the landscape that the Celts referred to?
You mean the fact that breast-shaped hill? It's so interesting because I've been aware before that that's what Manchester means, but I've never gotten out a map or kind of orientated to the shape of that landscape here. And so it's making me curious to do it.
Yeah. It will be there somewhere, and I'm picturing maybe there's like buildings or things close to it, or a river, or there's something possibly, you know. Also, I'd be aware years ago I went to Bath with my husband. He took me there for my 40th, which is a decade ago. And what I noticed was all the houses and the landscape as well. And really that the power of the landscape, whatever it is underneath our feet.
Right.
So yeah, Manchester, I have to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So today, Ellie's talk, I'm really, really looking forward to diving into this with you, Ellie. It's called The Power of Love. Heal your body, illuminate your soul. And to begin with, Ellie, if you're able to guide us with a beautiful embodiment practice, what you do so well with people, that'll be so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to guide us in a short practice to orientate to the love in your body. And so I do invite you to take a pause here. So to find yourself in some stillness, and whether you're sitting, or lying, standing, to let go of other distractions, if you like, to allow your eyes to close or rest with a soft gaze, and let your awareness come inwards, dear one. We're going to orientate to the present moment here to regulate and to soothe the nervous system by allowing your awareness, if you like, to drop to the places in your body where you can feel yourself supported by the chair or the ground. Noticing that gentle pressure and that gentle tug of gravity and giving into that 1% more. And as you tune in, you may notice that your body would also like some contact, some touch. Now, again, we're dropping into more regulation, more calm in the nervous system. Oh, and when you bring your hands to your body, you might want to bring them to your heart space, maybe your belly. You might even feel to gently tickle your hands to say hello, to tantalize yourself in that way. Say hello to your skin. And this helps to activate the flow of oxytocin in the body, the connection chemical, which helps your body to feel safe, to de-armor and land where she or he or they are. So if you are making contact with your body, noticing how that feels. And now allowing your awareness to come to your heart space, center of the chest here, and noticing how you can sense the heart's energy there. It might be that you can feel a warmth, that you can have more of a vision or an image of your heart space. It might be that you do again want to bring the hands to that space in order to increase sense of connection there. Noticing how utterly non-judgmental your heart is. So if you can sense any feeling of harshness, tension, or self-criticism in your body, I invite you to release that to the loving gaze of your heart. You're doing everything right. All of you gets to be here, and with that in mind, take a gentle sweep through your feet, your legs with your awareness. With your hip space, noticing what it's like to put your awareness there. You've got your pelvic bowl between your legs and the lower back. Noticing what you can feel in these lower parts of your body. And allowing whatever it is that you can sense or feel, whether it feels yummy or not so yummy, powerful or numb. Allowing it to be held in that gaze of the heart that says, everything that you feel, it gets to be here. You can only get this right. Then allowing your awareness to land in your back with great kindness. And then your belly, your torso, lungs, heart space, physical heart. And then your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your neck, and your head and your face. Noticing if any part of you would like some contact from your hands. Again, bringing in that presence, that calming. And noticing what it is that you can feel in these top areas of your amazing body. Whether that feels like emotion, impulse, you might even be noticing that you've got an impulse to move or change position. Or give yourself some space. Let your breath take space. Again, you might be noticing numbness. Whatever is here, it gets to take space. You can only get this right. Now I invite you to take a breath with something that you can remember from the past week that felt a little bit off in your body. This could be anything from something that you did that didn't light you up, conversation you had, something you ate even that didn't feel yummy, it wasn't delicious, or something that you found boring, and just gently noticing what that was and how it felt. And then with your next breath, releasing that and tuning in to something that you experienced in the past week that made your body say yes. Maybe it was something that was pleasurable, something that filled your heart with joy. Maybe it was a location or even a material on your skin that felt good. What comes to you? And remembering how it felt for you to experience that thing that felt good in your body. Noticing how the feeling good felt. Maybe it turned you on. Maybe it made you feel safe or alive. Maybe you felt that all over your body or in a particular place. And noticing that your body has this sacred language, the way that he or they communicates with you and says, "This is not right for me, and this is right for me." And taking 3 moments now where you can feel in your body the place that is the loudest yes. The place in your body that is feeling most expansive or vitalized. Oh, this again, it might be a joy or a pleasure, the softness in your hands, a tingling in your thighs, a joy in your belly. It may also feel like the relief of just allowing a pain or a tiredness to be here. Orientating to where in your body you feel the most clear yes, something that's saying, yes, and really allowing yourself to sink in and in and into that sensation. And now I invite you to tune in playfully to how your life will feel when you allow yourself to navigate truly according to what feels like yes in your body, to what feels like turn on or vitality or safety or soothing. When you allow yourself to make choices, to let go of the stuff that is not supporting your life flow, not supporting you to feel good or better or cared for, and you orientate to your soul's voice, the voice inside of you that communicates with feelings that feel positive or yummy or kind. Having those somatic boundaries going towards what lights you up, prioritizing integrity in that way. How your life will feel. Notice that now. And allow whatever form of love or deliciousness that is present in your body for you in this moment to really take space. Maybe it's inviting you to soften, to trust, to know your power. What's here for you? Enjoying that. And now we've made this sacred orientation to your body's voice of yes and no. I invite you to stay present with your body throughout this session as Kerry and I speak. So that might mean keeping your eyes closed. It might simply mean taking moments to come back to what you feel in your body, noticing your feet on the ground, body on the chair, what's here for you emotionally, so that you can really notice what your truth is, how your being is responding to what Kerry and I are saying, and therefore the guidance, the truth that is coming through for you. Yeah. And taking a moment here as we close the practice to tune back in very gently, simply to your insides, noticing if there's any kind of rearrangement that you would like to make, your position, wiggling around now that we've been still for a while, or softening down and getting more still, whatever feels best for you. Okay. Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ellie, for that beautiful, just that beautiful ground and practice. And it's just so nice to be in a space where we're just slow, where we can really just settle into our bodies. And it's such a gift, something that we don't give to ourselves, something that we have forgot how to do. I know I went and got a blanket, some self-love.
That's gorgeous, Kerry. Yeah.
Really beautiful. And it is something that we don't do. And not everybody might know what somatic means. Somatic, if you want to just say a couple of words about that, maybe just for the people who are sort of like, what does this represent?
Yeah, for sure. So, soma is Greek for body. So, somatic means of the body. And the reason that somatic is such a buzzword like embodiment, effectively they mean the same thing to a degree, is because even though we are living in bodies for a really long time as a human family, we've been living with far more awareness in what we're thinking than what we're feeling. So there's been a neck down disconnection. Hence the reason that that question that you ask is necessary, right? Right.
Yeah. And I know, Ellie, when you were doing the actual practice with us, I was aware myself that it took time for my heart nearly feel anything. And then because you allowed so much time to progress and let us into it so gently, eventually that place was reached where it's just like you dropped into your body. Like from your heart to your lower body, in your body. But then as time progressed even further, all the sensations came around the head.
Okay.
Like a lot of the tingling and it's so beautiful the way the touching of the hands.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
just
Absolutely. Right. And it can feel so revelatory, and we do get to go gently. And it is revolutionary in this world, because can you imagine a world where we're really rough with our bodies and we don't listen and we're too fast to be able to hear? Well, that is the world that we've been living in. And so these precious, wise, soft animals of our bodies, they do need some time to realize it's safe to slow down. And it might be that for some of you beautiful beings enjoying this session right now, what you were present with was more of the numbness than the feeling. And so I just want to normalize that, if that was true for you, and say your body is awakening, and the intention to love and honor and allow the body to come back to life for our healing and for this ignition of our souls is the most important and powerful thing. And as long as we set the intention in the perfect time, it will happen. And we're so supported by the wider world at this time to allow our bodies to heal and awaken, because we have been living in a place of disconnection and fear for arguably thousands of years. And we don't really know why this started. But what we do know is that we have been disconnected from and shaming nature and the feminine as a whole for a very long time. And that will bring a climate of fear to the world, because we are nature, and huge swathes of our beings are the feminine elements. So what we have journeyed through, I mean, we can go back to the birth of the patriarchy 10,000 years ago. We can also go back to about around the 4th century, when the Roman Catholic Church was basically making it increasingly illegal and dangerous for us to live as we had lived for 40,000 years in connection with nature, from a place of love and self-reverence and organic rejuvenation, and knowing our connection to life force and our place in the great cycle of things. It became illegal to worship at the sacred sites, to do ceremonies to enhance fertility. The life force itself was made wrong and called evil. You know, we see this most potently in the villainization of sexual energy. we became these beings that were like this, and no, I'm not horny, I don't do that, I'll be straight and stuck in my head. And then, of course, during the witch burnings, and I'm noticing, Kerry, that it doesn't feel nice in my body to be talking about this, so I'm going to keep the why this has happened quite brief. But we saw in the witch burnings the penalization of those of us who were the intuitives, who were embodying the feminine, who were really allowing for the darkness, the inwards, the spidey senses, cycling with the moon, again, knowing our innate magic and empowerment in that way. Those are the ones who were burned at the stake.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from you, Ellie, it's the aliveness. There was like an aliveness that was robbed from us, because aliveness is all parts of everything. It's not linear. It's just this aliveness that was taken from us.
Exactly. It's such a great way to say it, Kerry. And what came with that, from that disconnection of this organic, powerful, uncontrollable, health promoting life force, came a disconnection from our compass. That compass that we just reconnected to in the practice, which is very simply, this is what feels yummy, this is what lights my body up, and this is what doesn't. And we've been socialized into, at school and work, you don't get to listen to your body. You think life is supposed to feel good for you. I don't care if you're bored, right? Keep going. Don't rest when you need. Push on through. So we've got confused and disconnected. And so we cannot spend too much time coming back to that compass and being kind to ourselves and honoring that knowing inside that says, I am alive. My body's voice is sacred. What makes me feel vital and busy and turned on is really important. This is what it takes to be healthy and to heal. And this is what it takes. And this is why all this is coming so much into our awareness at this time. This is what it takes to remake our world, which is what we're here to do. Right? We're here at this incredible time that has been prophesized by almost in every indigenous community on the planet, that we would come now. Oh, and we would return from fear to love. We would release the insanity. We would find our way home. We would step out of what we're living, which is often lives that feel like, oh, I don't really want to get up in the morning, or I don't feel inspired, or my body feels unwell, or I'm not quite sure who I am, or I know who I am, but I'm not living according to that. To move away from that, and to move away from this crazy world where we've got unsustainable economies, we've got an education systems that don't inspire our children. Because what happens when we come to our bodies, when we connect back to this guidance system and we remember who we are and what feels right, and that we've got a fire inside of us that says, I don't care the insane ways the people around me might be living. I am going to follow my heart. I am going to do what lights me up. I am going to honor my guts, right? We're called so strongly to do that at this time, not just for our joy, and that's the most important thing because that feeds everything else, not just for our health, but for the remaking of our world. Because when we listen to what we feel, and this always starts, and I'm going to invite all of us to take a breath and do this in this moment. This always starts by gently noticing what it is you feel in your body in this moment and letting that take space so that we are in connection, we are in alignment, embodied alignment with our life force in this moment. We're not blocking it, whether we feel sad, whether we feel horny, whether we feel inspired or exhausted. The first step always is to welcome whatever it is we feel, even if that's numbness. And this connects us to source. This is what the state the animals are in all the time. This is the alignment that the trees are in and the rivers. You know, none of them are disconnected from this incredible intelligence, this life force, as you said. And as we connect into the innate and native and natural organic feeling in our bodies and let it be, we're literally channeling the power that creates worlds. And so that's why coming to the body is the portal opening to remembering who we are, to getting divine guidance. It's literally the connection to inspiration, and it's inspiration that is so deeply needed at this time. Whether again it is, oh, this is who I am, this is what I feel, this is what I need to show up in integrity and to heal my body. Suddenly I see that so clearly. Or whether it's that new invention that we need in order to create sustainable energy, right? Or it's that next right action to be kind to the person in my community who needs it the most. This is how we are channeling love, and it comes home to dropping back into the body.
Yeah, and that center is so important, like what you have said, and you've brought it back to this a few times. It's from us having been socialized. So we're going from having been socialized and conditioned to be enjoyalized. That's what I would think of you, Ellie, that you're taking us from that route of the yellow color swathe, which is, you know, the intellect and the social. But yellow is also the joy, the sun, your solar power. It's the joy.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
You're so right. It is. It's the joy. And it's so funny that in this world where we feel to be stuck in these pickles of, but how are we going to change the world? Like, how are we going to do this? The answer
Too
is
big.
you got to do one moment at a time and realign with what feels like joy, with what feels like kindness. And the way you do that is get out of here and come to the softness in the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it time for us to return to love as a human family? Why must we go down there?
So it just goes back to what I just said about this is this pinnacle time that we've been waiting for. We know that we're here, particularly if we look at what has shifted within us since 2020, when so many of us threw off those shackles of bullshit and were just like, what am I doing? What is important, right? A lot of us had shifts then. A lot of us had shifts in 2012, times of awakening, and it's all been part of this incredible outpouring of awakening and love and aliveness, as I said, to remake our world at this time. And I really want to go back to what you were just saying about the joy and the playfulness. Because what it put me in touch with as you were speaking is the journey that I've been on And I share this now in an effort purely to connect all of you beautiful beings to tune into what your story is, what your journey has been, wherever you're at, whether you came into this session today because you are wanting to heal your body, or because you're desiring to feel more alive in your life in whatever way, or it was just simply like the multicolored resonance of that word love that spoke to you, that was like, I need more of this in my life. You know, for me, when all this started, Kerry, I had no idea that there was a part of me that was yearning for more joy and aliveness. I was 22. Oh, and I was living the life that my little being had planned since I was 9 years old. I was making it as an actress. I was performing for millions, and in many ways, my external life was beautiful, but there was a rumbling in my soul that was connected to the rumbling of our wider world that was saying, but there is a lot of fear here, actually. And there is a lot of self-betrayal. And I wouldn't have realized that if my body hadn't started to bring this horrid fatigue. And for the first 3 years of being with the fatigue, I stayed off my path of love. I stayed in my ways of fear, the ways that had been taught to me by the world how to survive in this patriarchal world that was all about making my instincts wrong, basically not knowing, but basically whipping my body into a state of numbness and productivity. So I had this layer of shininess and success on the outside. And there was a level of truth to that. But there was also this deep part of me that was just only a little bit alive. And it was the voice of my inner feminine. And yeah, I ignored her for 3 years, and I just tried to be better at sleep to make the fatigue go away. I tried to be more perfect, to be more of a grade A student in that way, and that didn't work. I tried just ignoring the fatigue. I tried shaming myself, telling myself that if my body was shutting down in this beautiful life, then my body must be broken. But after 3 years, I was ready, and something in me, Kerry, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was just in such a place of despair. Like, the fatigue was making me not want to live. And so I finally surrendered, and I opened to this soft, deep, warm, winding voice of love inside of me, to my inner wise woman who'd never gone away, who was saying, dear one, the fatigue is the voice of wisdom in your body. And it's time for you to slow down and honor yourself. And so what I found as I began to do that is that I could hear the guidance within the sensations within the fatigue. I started taking time intuitively every day just to meditate or be in nature and listen to my body. And there was an understanding that I had been living from a place of unkindness and self-betrayal without knowing it, which is what's very possible when we're disconnected from what we feel, and what's very normal in this world where we've basically been conditioned to have a version of us that can be productive in this linear, overly masculinized world, and ignore the inner voice. And what I began to notice was I didn't want to do things that hurt anymore. And I began to realize that what had been hurting me was keeping myself in a space of nervous system anxiety and activation by always being busy and out in the city. So as I started to give myself permission to actually rest and soften, which I needed support to do, and I found therapists and coaches and support groups incrementally and guides to find the support to do that. I then began to see, and it was like a Polaroid picture coming into focus. There was all these parts of me and things that I'd been doing that I hadn't been aware of, like people pleasing my agent, like being this perfect little but grade A actress one who would just please people. And when I listened to my body, I realized this doesn't feel like empowerment, and this doesn't feel like life force. And that's why the fatigue is my best friend, was my best friend, has been such a gift, as all the sensations in our bodies are. And I just want to say that if you are journeying with fatigue or anything that feels painful or scary in your body, whether it's depression or chronic illness, whatever it might be, you don't need to be afraid of it. The fear is welcome, and whatever is here, you get to flip the script and stop making yourself wrong and listen and let it be your lighthouse. So for me, the lighthouse became vitality, right? I would do anything to feel the opposite of the fatigue. I would do anything to support my precious body to come back to life. And so it allowed me to give my ego a rest, the part of me that was living from fear, to fit in, and to let my soul really speak. And so, yeah, I noticed things like, oh, actually, it doesn't feel loving to not eat enough so that I try and be a size 0 and try and be attractive to men. Like, I don't want to do these things. And it was a deepening into what true nourishment felt like in my body, right? True nourishment, not an addictive high, not a dopamine hit from clearing my to-do list, not a high from pleasing some other person, like true, grounded, loving nurturance in my body. And as my journey continued in that way, again, at times I was journeying alone. Sometimes I would just spend hours listening to my body every day. Sometimes I was working with therapists or coaches or shamans. I spent a year working with healers in Thailand. I spent a year working with energy healers in England. Oh, more things came through. And Kerry, all of it comes down to only one thing. It comes down to gently listening to our bodies, and it can be just 5 minutes a day, even at first. Noticing what actually feels loving and vitalizing and what doesn't, and just doing the next right thing that feels like love. It's not about getting overwhelmed. It gets to be so loving, so easeful. And a lot of that for me was, holy crap, I have all of these emotions that I didn't even know were there. And so it was this defrosting, this deep, loving, welcoming again of the softness in my body, one moment at a time, and discovering things like, I have a lot of grief that I need to feel. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I need to give space for that. I have a playful, rambunctious inner child who, when I give space and don't spend my whole time being a workaholic, when I give myself unscheduled time to play, whether it's just 5 minutes to dance to my favorite song or a year living in Thailand following what feels right, whatever it is, these parts of me are what's containing my life force. And it's going back to what you were saying. It's all about life force, right? And as I did that, the fatigue healed. And as I honored my boundaries and no longer did the shit that didn't light me up, the fatigue healed. As I came to myself with reverence and love and respect, let my body shake when she needed to shake, let myself be angry when I was angry, hold my boundaries with my family. Whatever it was, the life force came back online and the body healed. Yeah. So I really hope that that's given something to someone who needed
Oh
to.
my God, it's so valuable. And you went in to yourself on a really deep level. You harnessed you harnessed from a seed. It was hard for you to find this seed of love inside yourself. But boy, did you plant a garden.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
It's just so valuable what you're sharing, Ellie, because like when, like everybody we meet, everybody's wrecked. And, I've had this saying for a few years, I feel like about the feminine, what I would say the feminine has been run into the ground.
Mm.
And, our generation, it's all coming to a big pinnacle. And, you know, you must have been sort of like in the workforce, I'm imagining, quite young. You were very disciplined, very all them social things, people pleasing and doing your best. That's what we are all doing. We're all doing what we think is the best thing. But like you have learned and showed, if you bring it back to the body,
Mm.
who's your greatest teacher?
Mm.
Your body.
Right. Absolutely.
Uh-huh. But
Right.
this information and the reality of having to take the time to be fully present and in our bodies,
Mm.
like you have brought this, I am sure, with this conversation today to life for so
Mm.
many people.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that reflection, Kerry. And I think it's important to say that, again, it's about just one moment at a time. It's about the kindness. It's about whether you want to heal PTSD in your body, whether you want to find soul inspiring work, whether you want to heal depression, no matter what it is, it's never about getting overwhelmed, right? All this, it's all gentleness, just one moment at a time, just the next right thing. Red School, they talk about the power of small shifts, and they'll often say, if there's something that you know that your body wants or needs, and you don't feel like you can fully give it to yourself today, just give it yourself 1%,
Yeah,
right?
I love that.
And it's so powerful. Again, it's all about love, just one little bit at a time. I hope and intend this session to be just a permission slip to you guys to whatever it is that you're being. And let's take a breath with that in this moment. I'm going to close my eyes and tune in, and I invite you to do the same if you'd like. Oh, just tuning in to your heart. And again, the presence of your body on the ground and the furniture. And to that spark of aliveness within you. That voice of soul and love that's saying, this is why we came and watched this session today. This is what I want. This is the next right thing that I want to do that feels better in my body, that feels like aliveness or love or self-reverence, right? And it might be just one tiny little thing today, like, oh, take a full 10 minutes to drink your tea and notice how delicious it is in quiet and see what's here in your heart. It might be canceling a meeting today that doesn't feel good to you. It might be something that you're thinking, I would just love to give more playful time to myself generally over the next month or over the next year. I need to set my body free. I'm going to take time in nature more with the flowers or more with my friends or time resting or do that dance class or paint that painting or yeah, whatever it is for you. So take a breath with that now. May this be a permission slip for incremental filtering in of joy. And you may want to stay with your eyes closed. You might want to keep them open. I'm just going to read something here that came through yesterday. That I wrote down. I'm gonna read it now. Pleasure and delight are not luxuries at this time. They heal our bodies and align us with the power that creates worlds. When you love and honor your body, it connects you to the backbone of the universe so that you're able to hear the guidance of Source. So we're talking about taking time lovingly every day to listen to what you feel, even 1 minute. Being there gently as your own best friend. We're talking about doing what parts and shining pieces of your soul are calling for by taking space from the noise of the world to hear the sanity in your bones. That loving voice that honors you, that sees you, that heals you, that vitalizes you. We're talking about prioritizing what lights you up, noticing when you're going against what feels right in your body, stopping and re-choosing the path of joy. This will realign your life. This will heal your body. This will remake our world. Can you imagine if everybody in Parliament was doing this? They would be making different choices. They would be painting the walls yellow, right? They would be taking off their suits and putting on cozy teddy bear jackets and rolling around and being like, oh my God, I'm remembering my inner child and let's put all this more money back into education. Like, and this is the power of what we're talking about, whether it's a seemingly tiny thing in your day or a seemingly big shift in your day. And again, it's, it's taking this reverent, yummy time, whether it's 5 minutes in nature so you can actually feel what you feel, whether it's time for self-pleasure every day or once a week, whatever it is, and always beginning by whatever it is that is present in my body in this moment, whether confusion, whether rambunctiousness, whether pain, whether pleasure, that's where we begin. And really that's what it means to return to love.
That's so beautiful. So beautiful, so stabilizing what you bring, Ellie. So before we finish up, Ellie, would you like to share about your beautiful soulful Sundays?
Yeah, let's do that. So happy to invite you guys to come along and join my free self-love community. So I hold monthly sessions called Self-Love Sundays. So we meet on a Sunday for about an hour and a quarter once a month. And these are just such warm, loving, permissive space for you to tune into your body, to tune into your needs and honor yourself. And usually every month it's a different theme. They're just so delicious, so healing. Yeah, and you'd be most welcome. So yeah, you can go to the link. I guess it will be beneath this
It
video.
will, yes, it will. All of Ellie's details will be below her on her speaker page or below her talk about where they can contact you and find much more details about everything that you bring to, I'm going to use the word society, but this is like society in a nice way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you're so welcome. And I'll also drop in, so that's elliepaskell.com/self-love. And then I'll also drop in that if any part of you is thinking that you may be nourished by some one-to-one coaching with me, that's certainly something we can talk about. We can have a chat on the phone. This is no obligation. It's free. We'll speak for about 20-25 minutes. You can ask any questions you have. You can feel what it's like to receive my coaching. maybe you've got a spidey sense that there's something in your body you're ready to allow to heal. Or maybe you're feeling like there's something else in your life that you need to bring to be, whether it's setting the true you free, or creating a soul aligned business, putting your roots into your work as a creative, whatever it might be. If you have an inner knowing that you would love to do that, and you would love to do that in a way that's truly aligned with who you are, and therefore sustainable, and therefore health promoting, um, then it may well be that coaching with me would be right for you. And yeah, we can have a chat about that. So that's elliepaskell.com/connect. And you can just send me a message and we'll set that up. Or just click on my website where the link will be on this page, and go to the link for, I'm trying to think, there's all kinds of buttons that say connect or connect with me, or you'll find it in the menu, you'll find it on the homepage. And yeah, I just can't wait to speak with you in that way.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Ellie. And really, I really encourage people to take an adventure, sit with Ellie on a Sunday morning, and then see how you feel for the rest of the day. It's just magical. Just everybody do that. Thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you.